Sergeant Patrick McCaffery was my son, and he was killed in Iraq in an ambush by the soldier he was training, by the Iraqi soldier that he was training. There was a cover-up with his death, and a lot of amazing things came out of this. But he was my only child, and it turned out that many of his fellow soldiers from the same unit came to meet with me and talk with me afterward. And then pretty soon I became the mom for pretty much everybody, and somehow I heard stories that infuriated me, and like Steve is one of the most visible soldier right now that has suffered so much. He came home in 2005, I think. He was told by the VA that he was completely fine. He had, in fact, acute PTSD, could not go to work. He couldn't function outside his house. He has to stay inside the house. He's married, as a daughter of 13, cannot support his family. And he had excruciating pain coming from his neck and lower part of his head. The VA checked him very briefly and said, give him some morphine and send him home. But this was repeated time after time. So finally, one day he had a breakdown, and he, in the middle of the night, and of course I felt, how bad it was. So I talked to him as long as I could, and after this, I decided to take him. He needed to get out of there immediately. He was afraid to become violent and to hurt his wife and child. So we gathered some money together, and we sent Steve in a retreat in Oregon. This retreat was held by a Buddhist monk. His name is Claude Anchin Thomas, but Claude Anchin Thomas is also a Vietnam vet, a war vet. And what he does now is devoted his life to help out the soldier. So we sent Steve for 5 days. It did so much good. What they taught him was to understand himself, control the anger, understand what PTSD was. And then from this step, I took him with me to the Today Show and big media to tell his story. And pretty soon, of course, the VA opened the door and said, okay, maybe we should check you again. And they did, and discovered that he was blown up by a roadside bomb. So his Humvee just was completely destroyed. He was ejected from the vehicle, and he had 3 discs completely destroyed in his neck. He needed an operation badly. He just had that operation now, just 2 weeks ago.
If I can ask you, what does it mean for you personally to be involved in peace work, trying to achieve peace in Iraq? Is that a way to work through some kind of grief, or does that help you in any way?
The work I'm doing, after listening to all these stories from soldiers, I realized one thing, that people don't necessarily understand them. So what to do? I think the most urgent thing to do for them right now, it's to patch their wound, just love them unconditionally, and make them feel welcome, so they have a chance to start a second life, or to become normal again, hopefully. And in order to do this, what is better than a farm? That's why the connection between farmers and veterans is so beautiful.
Could you explain just very briefly why farmers get involved in peace work? Where is the connection?
The connection is that the farmers today are in some trouble, not finding enough people to care for the farms. The soldiers are in trouble. So it's a win-win situation in any case. And when you walk the land, when you walk with the earth and make things grow, you realize how soothing that is. It makes people feel good again and feel capable, re-empower them. And that is what we want. 60% of the soldiers that are coming home now have children. If they are not able to care for their children, what is going to happen from 2 generations from now, 1 generation from now? We are responsible for this, so we need to help them.
So it's a way of taking care of soldiers coming back from the war?
It's a peaceful way, it's a way to work with peace, yes. What is more peaceful than mixing sport?
And does it make more sense for you? Does everything make more sense that you can do this kind of work? Does that help?
this is my way of living, loving those children, because to me they are children, and giving them hope, you bet, so we can have tomorrow. I have 2 grandchildren, so I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that they grow up in a peaceful environment, yes.